You're listening to Tripod, the Tricycle Creative podcast, produced for anyone interested in being a better digital and content marketer. Host Ross Erosion is a marketing coach, content creator, and entrepreneur who brings you helpful tips, social media updates, inspiring interviews, and his own unique perspective on how to tell your story and grow your business. So sit back, relax, and let's get pedaling.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, or at least that's what Google says on this episode of Tripod. Chris, hello.
Hello.
Listeners, hello. Did you hear him? Did you hear them all say hello in unison? It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well,
I
think they kind of whispered. They weren't sure if they should respond or not.
What do we do? I am Ross. That is Chris. This is Tripod, the Tricycle Creative Marketing Podcast. And on this episode, we are talking about Google killing the cookie. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's about time.
I can. So, Chris, do you know what a cookie is? Now, what is a cookie? Do you know?
Let's say no. Kind of.
Do you know, according to Wikipedia,
leech.
do you have the exact Wikipedia definition? Because I know I do.
I mean, a cookie is essentially like being tagged by a paintball or a GPS tracking system or a leech of some kind. Or
it's a pretty accurate. It's turned into a leech. It used to be maybe not as nefarious, but so we're not talking about delicious Oreos or any of those things. We're talking about web cookies. And Google has recently made an announcement that they will be killing them off by 2022. So what is a cookie? Let's start there. It's a HTTP cookie. They're called cookies, web cookie, internet cookie, browser cookie, or simply a cookie. It's a small piece of data sent from a website and stored on the user's computer by the user's web browser while the user is browsing. So they were designed and continue to be helpful. Things such as, keeping an item in a shopping cart while you're looking around on a store. But what it is kind of morphed into or grown into is just like Chris said, that you've been tagged. It's a kind of a tracking mechanism that marketers can use to direct content, advertising, messaging to you based on your habits. I mean, we've talked about this how many times? At least 1,000 times on this show. It's like you go to Nike, you look at shoes, you don't buy them, but when you go over to Facebook, all of a sudden those shoes are in your, newsfeed. Mm-hmm. That's accomplished through the cookie technology. Technology. I like that phrase. It sounds delicious.
And Google says they're phasing it out.
Yeah. So Google says
Why would they do this?
I see. I think it's okay. Google utilizes cookies Google has a remarketing tool also. Okay. However, I don't think there is nary a platform that utilizes cookies and cookie data more than our friends over at Facebook. And so Google is saying that they will seek, and here comes some quotes, privacy preserving and open standard mechanisms, end quotes, that will maintain, quote, an ad supported web. But they are looking at this as a privacy move, and that their intention is to do it within 2 years. And because they don't want to rush it, right? They want to, I suppose they're saying, address the needs of users, publishers, and advertisers who have developed tools, obviously, to take advantage of the cookie.
Yeah. I mean, how are companies and advertisers feeling about this? That they're like, hey, by the way, we're just not going to, all this tracking and everything that you've come to rely on, we're just not going to have it anymore?
I think this is not hyperbole. This could possibly be the biggest digital marketing story of the year. Honestly, this is a major upheaval to what digital marketing has become very comfortable and, to your point, reliant on.
But
so
Google can't they can't be doing it out of the goodness of their heart.
I mean, I think here, well, here's the one thing, right? Where Google makes, I would say, probably most of its money from advertising is not really at all related to cookies. You can add a level on top of Google Ads that incorporates cookies, but think about the Google ad platform. They're not going to be affected, right? Because the cookie takes advantage of serving up ads and content based on interest and based on some form of behavior, right? Versus the Google ad platform, which is the Google ad platform works because you go to Google and you type in a query, right? You type in some, new, Nike Air Jordans. That has nothing to do with cookies. They serve it up based off of their own technology and keyword phrases and all the algorithm and everything that goes into Google Ads. You are actively making the query in the Google scenario. You are further down the funnel.
So they're tired of doing the heavy lifting for everyone else.
I mean, I think it's interesting because yes, Google does have a remarketing piece, but again, I think Facebook, this is really where Facebook's jam is. And I don't know, Google's full of people much smarter than me. Maybe you, I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe they're trying to, let's just say probably. I don't want to say for sure.
Maybe you, probably me.
Maybe me, probably you. And maybe they see some antitrust privacy stuff coming down the pipe because a lot of this has been in the crosshairs overseas, cookie usage. So maybe they're seeing some writing on the wall here. But you've talked before about how you don't mind ad personalization.
I
would agree. It's a hard thing to deal with, right? Because I do value my privacy. But at the same time, if I'm going to get ads served to me, at least make them something relevant.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't see that going away anytime soon.
Well, you got it, but how are they going to do that without this technology?
I'm sure they'll figure out another way. I
mean, they'll go back to demo behavior, things like that. And you're right. I'm sure they will figure out some other way. But this is massive. I mean, this cuts the legs out of, strategies, marketing plans for just major companies and small ones. This is the other thing that they're kind of people are kind of yelling about is, oh, this really hurts also the small marketer, because it's kind of a way to at least play a little bit with the big boys. That technology itself is accessible to all.
Yeah.
The framework's really complicated. I think to do a really good remarketing campaign, it's incredibly involved, but even on the basic level, it's accessible to you.
But I mean, you could turn off cookies, right? I mean, you could reject them. You could say you don't want them. From a website.
You can.
Are they just going to find a way to be like, oh, we don't have cookies anymore, but secretly here's something that will slide in that you can't say no to?
See, that's what I'm so curious about, because Chrome has such a massive market share.
Yeah.
That I wonder if it's going to be this, hey, look at us, we're the good guys, we're doing away with cookies. But maybe then it becomes something that is proprietary to Google.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's cynical of me to think like there's going to be something else. I mean, they're not just doing it to be like, we respect everyone's privacy and nobody will have to suffer from this again. Like, come on. They wouldn't do it if they couldn't make money off of it.
For marketing, cookies feel like the black obelisk from 2001. I feel like that, a good amount of marketers were out there just smashing stuff against rocks, and then the obelisk came in and they were, spoiler alert for 2001, Space Odyssey, and they evolved incredibly fast. Yeah. And now the obelisk is going away. And as marketers, you may find people that have to go back and are smashing rocks again.
Yeah, or they'll just come out and they'll say, we don't have cookies, but we have donuts. And now you get donuts. And donuts only work for Google.
People
and
that
you
are...
have to pay us for them.
Totally. People that are using cookies really well, though, in the remarketing thing, I will say that they have now flexed the muscle of being able to develop storytelling, better storytelling and content that leads people through a funnel. And that's a tried and true skill set with or without cookies. Cookies make it a lot easier, though, because you can speak directly to someone.
Am I wrong to say that cookies is how websites remember your password and that sort of thing, all your login information and whatnot?
I believe that they are involved in that, yes.
Okay, because that'd be a huge pain in my ass. So.
Yeah, you don't know any of your passwords. That I know for a fact.
Yeah. Wait, reset password every time.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm looking Wikipedia. They can also be used to remember arbitrary pieces of information that a user previously entered into form fields, such as names, addresses, passwords, and credit card numbers. I would argue that's not arbitrary.
Yeah. Yeah, that's everything I need to be me.
That is the most major thing.
Yeah.
How many times do I have to reset my password on Grubhub? Good God.
Right. Or how many times do I have to plug in my... I type in the letter C for my name and it tries to autofill my address from like 3 houses ago. It's like I haven't lived in that apartment for 12 years.
Here's what's interesting. Now, this is a huge, again, Chrome giant market share. Okay. Big blow. However, in April of 2017, Apple began rolling out intelligent tracking prevention in Safari. Didn't hear much about that.
Mm-mm.
So that's still going on. So Safari has some element.
Didn't really hear much about Safari.
That's true. Well, case in point, right? I mean, who's jazzed about Safari right now still? I mean, Safari is kind of the new Internet Explorer. I hate to say it, but
Opera?
Oh, God. I literally just got chills when you said that. And then Mozilla with Firefox has also been really hard on this privacy stuff.
I was going to say, I think, if you care about your privacy, you should be using Firefox and not Chrome.
So I would agree with that. Or, Chris, use this new browser I found. And I know you're going to say, oh, God, with this new stuff, Ross.
You know me so well.
Always with the new stuff. You're such a pain in the ass. It's true. But I am loving this new browser. I promise I'm not getting any residuals. It's not a multi-level marketing scheme. It's called Brave. And they are like hard and fast about cookie blocking, privacy protection. And here's what I love about it. You can use it, and it uses Chrome extensions.
Oh.
Now, that is why I have been so hesitant to switch over to Firefox, because I love my extensions, and you can't use them there. Unless there's a workaround, which I don't know, which there might be. If there is, feel free to message us. But Brave is great. You can use Chrome extensions. It has cookie prevention. It also shows you like what cookies are loading so you can stop them. And it's faster because it blocks a lot of those things. So if you're in the market or interested in the privacy, being
Give you-
more private with your information.
Give you a call. You'll talk about it.
No, that's not what this
Oh.
is, Chris. When I find something new, what am I doing this show for? I gotta tell people about it. I've been loving Brave. Brave browser. It's really good. Give it a try. And mention Ross at the door. You'll get no, there's no discount. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like that. Yeah, Firefox or Brave, or I would even, I guess, say Safari if you're out there using Safari. What do you use, Chris?
I use Chrome, of course.
No, I did and do too. Chrome is a very good browser.
I mean, at this point at work, I almost have to. I mean, everything
Yeah.
we do is through Google. All the apps we use, all the extensions.
get
Like,
you.
yeah. I mean, I don't have a choice. I mean, we're migrating our servers and just working our drives mostly off of Google Drive now.
And
I mean,
you're cookied up. You got all the cookies. They know everything about you.
yeah, you'll find me in front of a grocery store trying to sell them next to the Girl Scouts.
Yeah, it's high time for that. I went to a client's house today, and he had like 3 stacks of Girl Scout cookies. I almost was willing to take payment for that in lieu of money, but I didn't. Almost tempted.
What do you do? Thin Mints? You a Thin Mint man?
I do like Thin Mints. I think I'm way behind because it seems like there's some new varieties this year or in the past 2 years. There's
I think some
lemon
have been
cookie that people are really
Oh yeah, the lemon one.
are really getting jazzed about.
Mhm.
I do like a Thin Mint. It's a classic. Like a Samoa.
They don't call them that anymore.
What do they call them? Oh, that's insensitive. Is that
I think so. Yeah, they call them like coconut.
They call them the
caramels
Rock
or something.
They call them.
They call them the Dwaynes.
They call them
A
Dwayne's.
nice pack of Dwaynes.
Pick up your Dwayne's. Well, this has been good cookie talk, but now let's talk about what we've learned on this episode. So, Chris, what have we learned today? What are the things? What have you learned today?
I learned that Google steals all my information, but is now going to pretend that they are nice about it.
Yes. Did you know Google's original kind of mission statement? Do you know?
Yeah. What was it like? Do no harm or always be
don't
nice.
be evil.
Don't be evil. That's yeah.
So maybe they're revisiting that for this particular initiative.
Hey, that depends on whether you think greedy is evil.
That's true. The capitalist in me is really conflicted on that one.
Mm-hmm.
What else have we learned today? I think we learned.
I was going to say, I hope you're not expecting an answer
I'm
from me.
expecting
I didn't know
from
there was
you.
a pop quiz at
There's
the
a
end
pop
of this
quiz,
segment.
and you will be graded. No curve. We've learned that retargeting is going to get harder, possibly even impossible. Possibly even impossible. That's the worst sentence ever said in the world. Potentially even impossible in 2 years. So if you'd like to start using retargeting and Facebook Pixel, start doing that now. If you don't know how to do that, you can contact Tricycle Creative. We can help you get that all set up. I also am one of the people when it comes to these tools that I don't just by default, I don't say they're bad. It's really in how you wield the tools, right? Because I think that retargeting can be done very thoughtfully, not as aggressive as maybe some people or companies or businesses. Mm-hmm. And I think it can be really valuable to your business. And you can make those decisions of how intense you want that whole process to be. We also learned that Chrome might become a monster, more of a monster than it already is.
Right.
With its own proprietary cookies. They're going to steal. They're going to only give you they're going to have their own Thin Mints, and you can't get Thin Mints anywhere else.
They might.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And we also learned that if you value your privacy, I think you're going to want to switch over to Safari. That's number 3. Firefox or Brave, a new browser brought to you.
Internet Explorer, maybe.
Oh God, why would you even say that? I don't even think that's a thing anymore. I think it's called Edge now, Chris. Don't you know? Don't you have a Surface? Don't you know?
The first thing I did with the Surface was download Chrome. Come on.
It's the first thing everything does. Everyone does everything.
Internet
Windows.
Explorer is only a pathway to Chrome.
It's a gateway drug. It's the
Right.
most intense gateway drug. The correlation is 1-to-1.
Yeah.
You absolutely will get on Explorer and go to Chrome. There is no ifs, ands, or buts.
I bet it is the most searched site on.
Oh my God. On Bing, I guarantee Bing's if Bing can look at Bing results, their number one result is absolutely download Google Chrome.
You think
Oh
they
my God.
they get that info and they're just like, oh, come on.
Come on. I told you to stop showing me this. It's the whole first page. What the hell is this?
Thanks for listening to Tripod. Be sure to subscribe and rate the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Stitcher, or wherever you listen. Show notes can be found at tripodpodcast.com. Connect with Tricycle Creative on social media at Hello Tricycle and learn more about how we can help you with your marketing at tricycle-creative.com.